Hello, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Christabel, the original Power Ranger princess. But on this channel, I am Princess Power Ranger. So, I really was not going to make a video today. I honestly was not. But I saw a notification on my Facebook of a memory that I'd had, or something that I'd shared years ago, and I just wanted to talk about that. So before I go into this video, I just want to give a shout out to all of my new and old subscribers, everyone who's joined the channel, everyone who supported me from day one, everyone who loves to hear me just talk nonsense. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I really do appreciate you guys. So, also, if I say anything that offends anyone, I am sorry. I'm only speaking from the context of my own experience. Now, with that all out of the way, I transitioned many years ago. Actually, it was 11 years ago. 11 years ago today, I transitioned. How crazy is that? But if I had to be honest and talk about where my journey really started, my journey started when I was 21. So when I was 21, I left the Mormon church, which is a story all on its own. I left the Mormon church, and I finally was at a point in my life where I was going to go to university, and I was no longer going to live at home. I was going to live somewhere else. And I no longer had to be the person that my family, that my church, that my community had needed or wanted me to be. You know what I mean? Sorry, I just had to fix that. So this was a period in my life where I was leaving my childhood home and going to university. And it was at this time, I remember my first month of university, I started going to therapy. I think I went to therapy probably like twice a week. And I had a wonderful therapist. I really did. And I saw, I think, probably 4 different psychologists during my 4-year period at university. And the first, I would say 3 years of therapy was to prepare me to transition. Now, back in the year 2011, 12, 13, gender transition was a lot different to what it is now. Any doctor, any urologist that would potentially perform any kind of surgery or administer any kind of medication first needed, I think it was three separate evaluations from 3 different psychologists. And they had to run a test. I remember there was this weird test that I had to do, and in a way, I'm glad that it took 3 years for me to actually start to transition, because transitioning is scary. It is terrifying. And I was scared. I was scared out of my mind. I would have nightmares about how people would react. And I knew that it was important for me to first let the people know around me that I was going to transition, and let people know while I was living as a male, so that when I started living as Christabel, they at least, had the first shock, had some time to get over the first shock, and then, when they actually see me, it's kind of like, okay, finally, now you're doing it. That's what I was going for. And I also wanted to prepare myself fully and 100%. But the reality is, you can never be prepared for your transition. Everyone's individual transition will always look different. And the thing is, with everyone's individual transition looking different, there are different challenges. So for me, understanding how sensitive and emotional I am, and understanding that there were all these other issues that had nothing to do with me being trans that needed to be addressed, yeah, it was a good idea for me to think about it for a full 3 years. So on the actual day, and I want to read this, I want to read it verbatim because it's literally on my Facebook. So I got a notification, and the notification, okay, so it was actually the 23rd of July, 2013. So technically yesterday. And I wrote this kind of nervous about going to varsity tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. If I can survive tomorrow, I can really see the rest of my life mapping out. Wow. Aww. I wish I could screenshot this, but I really can't. Woo! Okay, no. There's too much information there. But let's talk about the actual day, what happened. So I had told people, friends, varsity professors, I even came out to my landlady and prepared her so that when she did see me, she wasn't weird about it, So I told everyone, and I'll never forget, like on this Saturday and Sunday, I went to go get my hair done. So my friend was the one who did my hair. She did braids. First time I did braids. I was so excited, but it took forever. So it took about 2 days because my friend was super slow. And I'll never forget, as each braid was getting woven into my hair, it was like a little bit of femininity kind of being like woven into me, you know what I mean? And I was so nervous. The more I would think about it, the more scared I would become, because I understood, number one, transitioning would mean so many things. Now, in the year 2013, this was my second attempt at trying to transition. My first attempt had been stopped, and I had been forced to detransition like a week into my transition. So realistically, the 24th of July 2013 was the first day I literally walked out into the world as Christabel and never looked back. I woke up, it was a Monday, I had to get to school. I lived close to the university that I attended, and it was like a 2-minute walk for me. And I have a very distinctive walk. Anyone who knows me or has seen me knows my walk. So when I came into the varsity, now you have to understand, and I say this with no arrogance, with no hubris, I'm just stating facts. In university, I was very popular, especially in my first and second year. And when I tried to transition, I became somewhat of a social pariah. Everybody knew me. Now, to be in a university, in a province that is full of people that come from very small, very conservative towns who have never really even interacted with gay people, knowing that I would be center of attention, knowing that I could not silently transition as I would have wished, scared the shit out of me. But the thing is, like, I feel like even when you're afraid to do something, you should still do it, you know? And what I mean by that, and understand that when I say that, I mean it specifically in a context like this, that if there is something that your heart yearns for, if there is something that is authentic to your soul, that is a part of who you are, and you're afraid to be yourself because people are going to laugh at you, people are going to beat you up, family's going to throw you away, let me tell you this. Rather other people beat you up than the thoughts and the dysphoria living in your heart beat you up. Rather your family throw you away than for you to throw away all of your dreams, for you to throw away all of your hopes, and for you to throw away the entirety of who you are. And rather people laugh at you than for you to live in a state where you cry every day, deep down in your soul. I was willing to face that. But God, it was hard. So I walk into like varsity and stuff. I walk into university, and I had a couple of friends who were very excited to see me and loved my outfit, and they were like just watching everyone, making sure that nobody was acting funny or being hostile. Some people were really nice. There was actually this really cute guy who, he knew exactly who I was, but he turned, he started talking to me really for the first time. And I did not see that coming. When I first, my first day transitioning, men were the last thing on my mind. Guys talking to me were the last thing on my mind. I just didn't want to get beat up. So I appreciated how sweet he was and how he was making me feel included. My one friend, when she saw me, she was in such shock that she couldn't stop herself, but she would laugh. Like, she laughed so much, and I could see that she was trying to stop herself, but baby girl had tears streaming down her face, and she literally was trying to cover her face, but she couldn't stop looking at me. She was just like, you know when someone's doing that. And but best believe, dare anyone say anything about me, she was like fighting for me tooth and nail. My other friend was so sweet, and so many of them were amazing. The majority of the people that I studied with, it was almost as though they rallied around me to make sure that nobody was like messing with me. And you know what is funny? One guy that I actually really hated, like him and me had beef. We didn't like each other. And he was kind of low-key racist. Tell me why when I transitioned, all the beef we had was sliced, it was processed, and all he had was empathy. That was a weird one. That was a weird one. But I did have a lot of bad experiences. So, during the day, I'll never forget this. It's frozen in my mind. I remember where I was sitting. I remember like it's so vivid in my mind. So I get into class, I get into my one lecture hall, and it's management. So I've had my first period, and everyone was super sweet. My friend laughed at me. I had this guy hit on me, which was sweet. Then we had a break, and I had my second period, which was management. I liked management. Business management was something that I aced, and yeah, like I loved that class. I didn't notice everyone coming in and staring at me. It was only when everyone had been seated where this one girl who was way out in the back apparently hadn't seen me and was told by another girl that I had hair extensions and all of that. She got up, walked towards me, looked at me, started laughing hysterically, so loud that the entire lecture hall could hear her. And I remember thinking, this is my fear. Like, this is it. This is it. Now, I had many fears, and being humiliated was one of them, because I craved validation, I craved acceptance. And here was the situation where it was evident to everyone that I was not accepted. And you know what's funny? Nothing happened to me. She went down, she sat down. A lot of my friends were pissed off at her and they gave her hell. The class continued, and I remember trying to answer a question, and it was as though my voice had been taken away. Or at least that's how I felt. But the reality is, I think I was so shook that, I just wanted to almost be invisible. The day continued, and people stared, and people hugged, and people laughed, and people sent me messages. I got threats that I would be unalived. College professors that I adored told me not to speak in their classes, and I sat silent because I needed to graduate. College professors who had been supporters became allies and friends. I found my voice. I went into advocacy. Yeah, I got beat up. Yeah, I got harassed. Yeah, people try to unalive me. Yes, I've had experiences that have left me with PTSD. But despite all of that, I'm still living. Despite all of that, I'm still thriving. Despite all of that, on the horizon lies something incredible. There was a nun who once said, I think it was in the 14th century, that we are all on the green, growing edges of our own becoming. The 24th of July 2013, 14, what year is it? 2013 was the year that I became. It was the year that I stepped into my own becoming. It was scary, and I think whenever you start something, you stumble and you fall. But in the same way that you learned how to walk, how you first crawled, and you would slip up and you would put one foot in front of another, and then eventually you were running, and you were running in heels. That's how life is. That's how transition is. And if you allow it, if you allow yourself to transition with love, with peace, with patience, with forgiveness, not only to other people, but also forgiveness to yourself, that is how you overcome Transvel. Sending you so much love and light. I can't believe this video got up to 22 minutes. Ooh, I'd be talking. Okay. You guys, I'm gonna head off. It was so much fun talking to you guys. I hope you have an awesome day, night, evening, whatever time of the day it is. And just know you're loved, appreciated, perfect as you are, ever expanding into more. All right, I'm gonna end it there. Bye.